We love cake so much we decided to make it a full-time business. For me, Sammie,
and me, Bronya.
Join us on our journey of discovery as we meet fellow cake professionals, artisan cake makers and home bakers who will give tips and advice on the Business of Cake Making podcast, glitter included.
Follow us on Instagram and listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Sign up to our newsletter and visit the blog at daisycakecompany.co.uk.
So, hello, Bronya.
Hello.
Hello, Miriam.
Hello.
Hello. I'm going to jump straight in and just start saying we spoke to Miriam about sugar flowers and her sugar flower club back on episode 61. But we're lucky enough. I know. But we're lucky enough to speak to her again because I bumped into you at Cake International just randomly as you were celebrating your win. She won Bake International as Best in Show with her afternoon tea pastries, and then won another gold. So there's a double gold with your win on the sugar flowers as well. Hello. How are you? So lovely you could be on here again.
I'm good. Thanks a million.
I've
come back down to earth.
You've got your rosettes behind you as well. Look at that.
I didn't see those yet. Yeah. Oh, I can see your flowers that you won with.
These are, And the rosettes, they were trying to get me to wear around the show, but I drew the line there. So I did.
I've seen lots of photos with them on your chest. Did you take them off after that then?
Yes, very quickly.
So we're going to talk about your cake and Bake International entries. But first, let's talk about your Bake International entry, which won Best in Show. What did you bake and how did you decide what to bake?
So it was actually a last minute decision to enter. I had the flowers done and finished and I kind of thought, sure, I'm doing nothing. We'll put in one for Bake Off as well. Not true. I was really busy, but I decided to put one in. I used to always compete at baking and patisserie competitions, and I hadn't done one for maybe about 25 years. So I thought, we'll take a punt and we'll go on it. And so the afternoon tea appealed to me because you had to use pastry base, a sponge base and a macaron or meringue base. So you had to do 4 of each, 12 afternoon teas, and I thought that appealed to me because a bit of variety. So I decided I'd keep the flavours simple. I mean, I'd looked through lots of recipe books, and then I said I'm going to do what I've always done. So one of them I did a lemon and coconut sponge. So I did. It was always a bestseller at markets that I did. I call it the Eileen's because there was one of my customers called Eileen, and every week she used to come for one of these. So it got named the Eileen. So it was coconut sponge, homemade lemon curd, lemon Swiss meringue, buttercream, and then on top I put on a shortbread biscuit, which was hands down my bestseller at every market, every fair I went, was the simple shortbread. So that was one of them. The second one then, I was going to do macarons, but they are evil things. Macarons,
yes.
I hate them.
Yeah.
Like, I really hate them. So I'd make trays and trays and trays them and get 3 or 4 perfect ones out of it. So I decided I'd ditch that and go for meringue because it's fairly reliable. So that's what I went for. And it was a raspberry meringue with raspberry Swiss meringue buttercream and freeze-dried raspberries in the centre. And then it was topped off with little meringue kisses. And the meringue was flavoured with raspberry as well. Raspberry flavoured sugar. And then the final one was a new recipe that I had tried, at least the filling was. It was a speculoos barquette. So I used the sweet paste recipe I learned in college from Liam Graham, amazing tutor that we had. So the recipe was probably 35 years old, I guess. I've been using it 30 years. Yeah, maybe 30 years, I guess. 1993, so 30 years exactly. Since I learned that recipe. So I kind of stuck to all my old school recipes, college recipes, my mum's recipes, and all the recipes that paid me well over the years. And the filling then for the barquette was a speculoos ganache, which is like, you know, the spicy ginger biscuits you get in Germany at the markets in Switzerland.
Yeah.
That's the spice. So I made the spice blend for it and then made a ganache. Topped it with a crumble and Biscoff ganache.
Yeah. Oh, you love Biscoff, don't you, Bronya?
I love Biscoff.
Love it. So that was my 3. So yeah, it was kind of just keeping the flavour simple, going back to my old school recipes, because you can fancy it up all you want, and that's what I did.
Well, it paid off. Definitely.
Paid off in spades. So I'll not change it for next year.
You can't beat classics, can you? Classics are classics, aren't they?
The classics. No. This is the thing. I mean, you can fancy up all you want, and I've got lots of patisserie books, and dessert books and everything. And I thought, no, I'm just keeping her to what always paid me well. So yeah. That's what I did. Yep.
Amazing. So when you were making these, I mean, obviously they are the classics. They're ones that you know well. Did you go out and buy extra special ingredients to make them, or did you use all your normal ingredients?
Yeah,
or
all my normal. All my normal. So everything was, bar the meringue, obviously, but everything was butter based. Irish butter, can't beat it. Can't beat Irish products, really. Irish cream for the thing. Well, obviously it's Irish because that's where I live. I couldn't get English. But I mean, the Irish products, you really can't beat them. So the chocolate was the best couverture that I could get. But like that, it was the products that I've always used all the years. The ingredients were very simple. So, for example, it was just your eggs, your sugar, your butter, your cream. So very basic, very simple kind of ingredients. But then obviously it's how you kind of manipulate them together. I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So you used to enter baking competitions, but you haven't for quite a while.
No, roughly I'd say about 25 years. So when I was in college, we always were encouraged to compete, and competition, like I told you guys before, competition is something that I really, really love. I absolutely love it because it drives you to be better, you know, and I've had the devastation, I've had the disqualifications, I have the full list now from start to finish. And I started competing when I was 9. I entered a baking competition. So this year I'm 42 years since I did my first competition. So I would have always done baking competitions, and I would have always baked. My whole family were kind of craftspeople. So the local county show, you know, the agriculture show, we'd be doing baking and knitting and crochet, and the lads would be having sheep and cattle competing, and it was always manic, but we always competed at it. And then during college I competed, and I competed on the baking and the chef kind of pastry side of it as well. And I was lucky enough, I think it's 1996, I got chosen to represent Ireland on the World Food Olympics on the Irish chefs team. I think I told you before. And then I also represented on the baking team as well. So that was huge accolade kind of to do. And then that was long before Cake International became a thing, and I discovered Cake International and went for a few years without doing anything, and then I thought I'm going to give it a shot over there, and I competed there. I think this is my 6th year maybe competing at it. First time to compete at the bake part, because that's only in its 2nd year anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, it's its 2nd year. So
you didn't do Bake International last year?
No,
you didn't.
No, because I had, I think I had 2 sugar flour entries, so it would have always been the flours I stuck to the last few years in it. So so just thought I'd take a chance on it this year.
Exciting, because there wasn't many. Because I entered last year, and I think because I entered the drip cake, and I think there were 6 or 8 entries. There were so few entries, and there was a lot of no shows last year, because I think it was kind of an untested thing, and there was a lot of black empty tablecloths, whereas this year it wasn't huge, but it was much bigger.
It was close on 100, I think. I think it was close on 100 entries this year, whereas last year was probably 20, 30 maybe. So it did come up big time. So It's nice. It was really good to actually, without winning anything, it was actually lovely just to enter one again and to kind of flex the bacon muscles again.
Yes. Did you bake it in Ireland, your entry, or did you bake it? You baked it in Ireland?
Baked it here. So
you baked it here.
I didn't tell a soul that I had entered. I had told everyone, what are you entering? I'm entering flowers and a secret competition. I told nobody. And it was the Wednesday before I was starting to make the shortbread. And I was saying to my husband, try that, you taste that. And then I had to tell him that I had entered.
Right. Oh, you hadn't even told your husband? Wow.
What's she baking for? She's going away for the weekend. What's she baking for? So then I had to tell him what I was entering. And it was actually only on the setup tables when we got there that, because I kept just saying, I have to finish a piece tonight, and I didn't say anything. So what I did was, it was only on the setup tables. My friend said, what are you doing with cakes? I was like, oh yeah, that's my secret entry.
Wow.
So what I did was I baked the pastry, the sponge, the shortbread and meringues here, and I had all my prep done for the fillings then. So then when I got over after setting up stands, I back to the hotel, and I was up in the hotel room. So the kettle became the bain marie. So I was trying to warm it up for the Swiss meringue. Lemon curd was made. That was all done. And the bed became the table and things like that.
So with your meringues, tell me, with meringues, I always get this problem with meringues. They go a bit soft and sticky. How did you keep them all crisp and lovely?
Just dry them out a little bit extra, just to allow. But also what I did was, so I'd all the prep done and everything, and I didn't fill them until I got over onto the setup tables. So literally, and then you're kind of hoping that they'll taste everything pretty quick, which they didn't.
Yeah.
Now, one of the comments that I did get was that they had softened a bit, but you've got humidity, and at that stage they were sitting
because it was really cleaning, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, at that stage, the pastry held, the shortbread held, but the meringues softened a bit. That's fine, because it was probably early afternoon before they got taste in them, actually.
Wow.
So they held well. They held pretty well, but so I didn't fill everything. I didn't fill the pastries. The lemon drizzle one I was able to do in little glasses, so I knew they'd be fine. And then the pastries I filled when I got over on the setup, and filled and decorated and everything. And then everyone knew.
Secret no more.
I had lemon coconut cake for breakfast that morning at 7:00.
Oh, that's not bad, is it?
Delicious. Was it really busy when you set up?
Not too bad. I went over for 7:00, and they were starting to come in, but by 8:00, 9:00, it was manic. Yeah, there was a fair queue. Even actually at about 9:15, I was watching it, and there was a huge queue of people checking in. So, kind of put them under a bit of pressure, I think.
Yeah, because I think I got there at 8:30, because it was 9:00 cut off, wasn't it? Yeah. I got there at 8:30.
Yeah, and it was crazy at that stage. I think they could have done with maybe more tables and everything as well. You know,
because there was enough of space, comments, wasn't there?
Yeah,
I've seen space. Lots of space.
I've seen a lot of comments about there wasn't enough setup tables.
Yeah,
or there wasn't enough tables for people to sort of like repair and bits and pieces.
Yeah, I've because you do. I mean, when even though you've only got your piece is 10, 12 inches square, or whatever size it is, but you've got all the paraphernalia to go with it. Boxes and
spread out.
Well, even setting up 12 little pastries, you kind of have a lot of stuff because you've piping bags and you've all that stuff. Yeah. So you do need a bit of space. They could definitely.
I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah.
It's all.
So yours was out on a plate, wasn't it? You didn't do it on a stand. You did it on a nice square
mine was
plate.
Actually, I used. So I like to go outside the box bit. So I used a picture frame. Took out the back, cut a piece of fabric to fit, put it back in. So then my picture frame became a tray. That's what I did on it. Yeah, rather than going up, on the stand. You have to think as well when you're traveling overseas, practically you have to bring it in a suitcase.
Yeah.
X-ray is always fun.
and Were they all right about you bringing food over and stuff like that?
Yeah, no problem. The only problem you'd often have is if you had a paste. So, for example, if I had maybe a block of sugar paste or marzipan, something like that, because it X-rays black as a black mass. So you don't get
I travelled once to Portugal and had some Saracino with me because I was making models, but they actually let me through with it on the way there because I explained to him, but on the way back, I had about half a block left. Wouldn't let me bring it.
Yeah.
I suppose, does it show up the same as something like Semtex or something like that? I don't know.
You see, it X-rays as a black mass. So in fairness, it's kind of... Now, all of my ganaches and my lemon curds and everything, they went in check-in.
Right.
Check-in lab. Clean film them. Hope they don't burst.
Can you imagine?
And then the biscuits and everything, the fragile stuff came in hand luggage. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd be walking around smelling like lemon curd all day.
Yeah.
So tell us about the prize giving. Because we were in, there's like a little cafe, a little cafe. Yeah. We were in there watching the prize giving. We kept sort of like popping up and seeing what was going on. But yeah, tell us about the prize giving, because obviously, you know, you knew that you'd got gold by that point. So how did that go?
So how it worked was, so your results are out on the Saturday. So I knew I'd had my gold at that stage, and which was my first ever gold at Cake International. So that was done. And then you have the prize. So they put out all the 10 cards on the Saturday. So you know then you've got gold, silver, bronze, whatever it is. And then on the Sunday they do the award ceremony where, so we could all have a gold medal. But then they announce an overall first, second, third in the class. And that's at the award ceremony. So, Ben Fullard does the announcing. And I know Ben over the years from being at it. And I had been talking to him on the Saturday. He came in. He's fabulous. And Ben came in. He said, I came in specially. You got your gold medal. But he knew at that stage I had best in show. But, of course, he couldn't say anything. Because he's one of the senior judges. And so Ben was doing the announcing, and he said to me afterwards on Sunday, so they announced all the first, second, and he called out my name, and I was like, I'd won the first place in the class. So then they do all the rest of it, all the different classes, first, second, third. Then what they do is they come back and they say, and then the best in show, and he calls out my name again, and I was sitting with two or three of my cake friends, who I have to mention actually because Carl has become a very good friend through lockdown. He started doing my online classes, and we've travelled now 3 shows, I think, this year together, and he's been competing for the first time. He's a fabulous guy. He's a lecturer over here in a college, and he won a silver at Cake International, and he cried buckets. It was fabulous. And I said to him when he got his silver, and he cried and cried and cried, and I said, now you understand. Now you know what I'm talking about. And he said, now I get it. And my other friend and her daughter were beside me, and she actually drives over and she brings my flower piece for me. So they're my cake family, you know, so you have to mention them. So when I won the best in show, I think I may have sworn, but I'm not sure. Because I remember saying...
Understandable.
I remember saying to David, I said, I hope I didn't just swear on microphone, but he didn't say that. So you go, I went up then and it was the best in show. And while they're announcing that then, obviously there's another team of people down around the competition area, and they're putting rosettes on the first, second, third place. So your rosette is with your piece when you go back down to it.
So you don't get given the rosette at the prize giving?
No, you get given your certificate and the trophy for the overall. And there's photographs, of course, and everything.
Yeah,
and then
there's a lovely picture of you with your certificate.
That's when I thought I swore on the... That's when I was saying to David, I think I just swore on the microphone. I'm red in the face, that's why, because I was like in disbelief, complete disbelief, but also because, anyway, so when you go back down, then your rosettes are all with your pieces, and you can see first, second, third, and my lovely, so the purple one there is the first place, and then the white one up on top is the best in show, so it's really nice.
I mean, the best in show, that's some rosette actually, isn't it?
It's lovely.
That's very ruffly, very fluffy.
Yeah.
That's
big,
a good
nice
rosette.
and big. They'll see me coming.
Not going to miss you with that.
Not going to miss me with that. Yeah, and it's fabulous. And even like afterwards, I was down at the piece, and so many people were like complimentary on it, and we had to leave our recipes and everything with our entries as well. So that was for the judges' pieces. But I don't have a problem sharing recipes. I know some people, they are kind of guarded in their family recipes, which I understand. But I mean, I've no problem kind of sharing them. So they were all, the rosettes and everything was with the piece, and like so many people are just congratulating you, and kind of, it's lovely. It's really lovely. It's a very surreal kind of thing, because I never expected it. I really never expected it. Yeah. So
did the judges, because you got feedback, obviously, because every entry gets feedback.
Yeah.
Did the judges comment on your recipes? Did they say anything about your recipes?
Not really, no. They complimented. I got 91 marks out of 100.
Wow.
So they complimented on all. The presentation was huge. The flavours were all complimentary. Just at everything. They loved the shortbread. They loved the speculoos, was just nice and kind of spiced in that. So they were complimentary on the recipes without mentioning them, I guess.
Right.
And that, So, and they said, they did mention that the meringues had softened, but like I said, I'd fully expect them to in that kind of atmosphere.
In that environment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So but it was, and even David said it. He said the complimentary, and Melanie from Cake International. Wow. She said, "I hear all about your afternoon tea." So it was lovely. It was lovely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really cool. So very nice.
Did you get a prize as well?
You get, I think you do. You win money for winning it. I haven't heard what that is yet.
Right. So last year I came third in the drip cake, and you do get money. I mean, mine was, I think it was like 30, 40 quid, something like that. And I think it got put in my bank. I think it actually went into my bank. I think they asked for my bank details, and it went into my bank.
Yeah. So they'll probably do all that now, I guess. They're only kind of catching up on themselves this week from it as well.
Good, yeah.
So it's the certificates, the rosettes, there's the trophy, and then there's prize money. But like I say, I'm kind of just haven't heard of that.
You're riding the wave.
Haven't got the dosh yet.
So where is your trophy? Because the trophy's got a whisk and everything on it, hasn't it?
Oh yeah,
it's right behind you. Look at that.
Right here.
Wow.
Yep, that's her there.
That is a special trophy.
It is a very special. Actually, that I was afraid, because it's a heavy acrylic one. Yes. And I just thought, kind of coming through X-ray, I said, what if they take that? Because it could be a weapon. Like, it's a bit of a... It is a bit, but I got through.
Fight them for it.
It's a very special trophy. It really is.
Do you think that this will change your business at all? Because I mean, I know you said you used to do competitions like this, but this is big, best in show. Will it change your business? Will you be bringing any baking elements into your teaching or anything?
I might look at teaching it online. Certainly I wouldn't be going back into baking. I mean, I baked for years when I started the business, probably about 15 years. I used to do wedding cakes, markets. I was only talking to someone today, and this time of year I'd normally be knee deep in shortbread and mince pies, because all the Christmas markets are on. Yeah. And I've done that, and I've kind of done the long miles in that. Yeah, and it's not, I love it actually. I really miss the bacon, the Christmas bacon. I love that part of it. But I want to try and look at doing some bits of online baking classes. Yeah. It's like everything, I guess. I'm running the business on my own, so it's difficult to kind of do everything myself. But I would love to kind of do some of the basic, because those old style recipes are like you say, that's what people love, simple definitely. Recipes.
And if that's what's won you best in show, and you can sell that side of it, that's quite amazing.
I need help to kind of do that end, because it's like everything, you're juggling kind of every aspect of it, so it is quite difficult. But I would love to, I'd love to kind of do something more on it, or even write recipes for magazines or do baking for magazines or newspapers. I'd love that, you know. So but
that's a
it's
really
getting
good
to do it.
idea.
Yeah, it's just getting to do it all, isn't it? Because, you know, we all run our own businesses on our own, and it is very difficult. You know, it's
time is of the minimum.
Well, it's time, but also, sorry, go on. I think also just juggling all the different kind of aspects of it is so difficult. Like, it really is. You know, it'd be nice to have someone to do the admin and the kind of we'll say kind of, you know, doing it, that you could just work on that practical side and the recipe side of it, everything. Do you know what I mean? So definitely
let someone else do like the niggly stuff while you do the fun bit.
Yeah, and I don't mind. It doesn't bother me doing the niggly stuff, but it's physically being able to do it all. You know, that's the thing. So, and social media is changing so quickly. It's very difficult to keep up, you know. So, but hopefully, I would love to definitely do something like that for magazines or online or newspapers. I'd love something like that from it. It'd be cool.
Well, I wonder if we will see you up on the Bake International stage.
Well, I don't know, but if anyone's offering,
I'm sure. Because I mean, we sat down and watched the Dem up on the Bake International stage, and it was really lovely, and it was quite a nice audience. It was quite a big audience, and
I really enjoyed it. It was good fun.
Funny, I was before the prize given, I was watching. There was a girl on the main stage doing buttercream, you know, the colouring on the colour wheel and everything.
Yeah.
It was just fabulous. It was so interesting watching it, because even though you work with colour all the time, but how she was blending and colour, she was just fabulous. So who knows? Maybe I'll be asked. It would be lovely.
We hope so.
Can we just talk about your flower pieces as well? Because I just loved the one with the foxgloves on it. It was so beautiful. And I just can't believe how, like, the centres of the flowers were so beautiful. You'd got it just perfectly.
Oh, thank you. So my other entry was my other gold medal. my other gold medal entry. So I always enter the sugar flowers. They're my thing, and they're my kind of a big part of my business. Where I make them, and it's always the competition I go for. So I had actually made the piece for another competition, and then I kind of decided, because the Cake International schedule came out, and I thought, actually, I'm going to hold it, make something new for the other one, and I'm going to hold this because it perfectly fit in on the criteria that they wanted,
on their schedule.
So basically, we had to create a piece of floral art, so that left it wide open to do, you know, whatever we want to do. And same thing again, I like kind of going outside the box a little bit. So the flowers were sort of suitable for the category, and as well, they were all wildflowers, like from a forest floor. So I had the foxgloves, the lords and ladies, wild garlic, and bluebells, and then the piece of timber which was in the middle, I kind of robbed it. Well, I didn't really rob it, but it was sitting in the shed at home, and my brother had intended it for somebody, and it was there for ages. So I said, he's probably forgotten about it. So I took it away, and my husband cut the bottom off, the length of it, and I just dried it out really well, and then dirtied it up with food colours and panko breadcrumbs for lichen. So they worked really well. And then the forest floor was all kind of, once I had the flowers in place, it was all muesli, nuts, cereal, anything that looked like dirt, because it all has to be edible, of course. So anything that looked like dirt, and that was all the floor. And then it was just on a wooden block, but the bark I did with chocolate sugar paste, and just put that all around it, and then a piece of scrunched up tin foil to make it look like bark, so there was no molds or anything used. But it took the foxgloves in particular. They are tough. They're very, very tough to make. They took hours, and of course they're such an odd shape because they have a little belly on the bell of them as well. They're not just thimble shaped, you know, they're like things, but they're a fabulous flower. I have to say, I really, really enjoyed making that one. And same again, never expecting gold in that one.
So this was your first gold for a piece?
Yeah.
Wow.
You wait for one bus and two come on together. I mean,
I know they all come on.
I mean, everyone knows the story. I got disqualified 3 years ago, and I was on the floor. I was just, because it was, we won't mention the bar anyway, but I got disqualified 3 years ago. And I just kind of thought, you know, because I help a lot of people out that want to compete, or that they're competitors or whatever. And I just kind of thought, when that happened, I thought, really, I look like a fool, because I'm helping people, but then I get disqualified over an explanation, basically, was what it was over. And I just kind of thought, maybe I should stop. My friend was with me that night, and I kind of thought, maybe I should just stop and not, you know, help people, but not compete. And I really, really did think about it. And even last year, I was like, you know, maybe I should just hold off. But anyway, I suppose stubbornness kind of kicks in, and you just keep going. And I don't do competitions for the result. I do them because they make you learn. I mean, you would never be asked to make a piece like my flower piece. You'd never get paid enough, and you'd never be asked. No one could pay you, you know, for the time really that goes into it. So I kind of do the competitions to push myself and to learn new flowers and learn new skills. After that, the prizes or the awards are a bonus, really.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I do them. But I kind of, when I got the gold, I was like, now I've really done it now that I have the gold. Because you know, I've had disqualifications. Yeah, it was redemption. It was a kind of redemption. Yeah, it was. I mean, last year I got silvers and bronze, and I was 1 mark off gold. So this year I got it. Yeah. So,
and you say your friend brought your piece over. That's quite a responsibility for her.
Yeah, and our deal is, if it makes it, it makes it, and if it doesn't, that's okay. There's no hard feelings, and that's our deal. Okay. She drives over, and she's brought it over the last few years. She's brilliant. Along with her own entries and her daughter's entries, and they did a piece for Paul Bradford's Cake Flicks collaboration. So she drives over, and she rings me at some stage during the year. Are you putting in an entry? I am. What size is it? Right, I've room in the boot. And that's usually the conversation. So she brings it over, and I left it in the show hall actually on the Thursday night on one of the stands, to not have to cart it in and out. So she brings it over, and like I say, the deal is, if anything happens, that's fine, because it's a chance, you know, it's a chance I take. But normally if say, for example, I went to Kilmarnock this year in Scotland to the show, and to Solihull, and normally I flat pack in the suitcase and bring them over on check-in luggage.
I remember you telling us that before. Sounds terrifying.
Yeah. That's when X-ray really is a lot of fun. But so for that piece, because it was big, she brought it. And she's brought them the last few years for me, and then brings them home, and I pick them up.
Yeah, she picks them up. That's fantastic.
So you've got them on your shelf behind you. What happens, say, like in 3 years' time? Will you still keep them?
Yeah. So there is probably some up here there's a rabbit up there she's called Emma, and she is 5 years old. I keep them. I can't throw them out. There's a piece up here which was the best in show for the online, the hoop with the blue flowers. That was the online for Kilmarnock 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think. That was best in show. So I keep most of them. I keep some of them.
You have to very gently dust them, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of blow, just faff over them. But I keep them as long as I can. An odd time, some of them I will take them apart eventually, but not gold medal ones. They get to stay. Yeah.
Oh,
the disqualified ones go on the top shelf, and I just scowl at them. Actually, I'll tell you a story. The one I got, as I say, I got disqualified 3 years ago. So I brought the piece to another show. I best not say, but I brought the piece to another show, and at the end of the show I gave it to the judge who disqualified me, and I said, this is yours to keep. I said, you put it on your shelf now and throw it dirty. Look, she thought this was hilarious. And I thought, now it's yours.
So your responsibility.
I gave her the piece. The piece had a name called The Bee.
Right.
So I gave it to her. I said, now you can have it.
I wonder if she still has it. I do hope she still has that.
No, she does. Yeah, she'll keep it. Because she knows I check in on her.
I got married 28 years ago, and I was nothing to do with cakes when I got married. Didn't have any interest at all, but I had a 2-tier cake with sugar flowers on, and I still have those sugar flowers from 28 years ago. And my great uncle made this beautiful display box for them that sits on the wall, and I've still got them. I mean, they've discoloured they were lilies, so they've discoloured very slightly, but 28 years old sugar flowers, they're fine.
Yeah, sugar is one of the best preservatives.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I mean, it's like any of my customers, I always say that the sunlight and humidity, they're your two enemies. Yeah. So after that, they keep for years. So I have the very, very first flowers that I ever made, a bit like that, about 28 years ago, I'd say. And they're in the glass cabinet in a little box, and they're still fairly okay, you know.
So when customers say, why have sugar flowers? That's why you can have sugar flowers, because you can still have them like so long afterwards.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And I think with customers, it's because obviously they're more expensive, but it's also an education thing to say, this is what you can do with them, this is how you make them, but also they last, a lifetime kind of.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I know I've said to customers, well, I still have mine from 28 years ago. This is what you can do. So yeah,
exactly.
Very exciting.
So, yeah, that's cool.
So what have you been up to, apart from winning double gold and best in show, since we last spoke to you?
So since, let me see. Well, I've got my flower club. That's going really well. That's just finishing up its second year now. And the next year's one is now booking.
Wow.
So
do you have a limit on the amount of people that you take out on?
No, I'll take anyone's money. I don't care.
She's a businesswoman.
Because it's all online, that I can take as many, as I need to. So I think the last time I was talking to you, I was in the middle of it, probably in the first year.
Yeah, you were.
And yes, so the second year is finishing up next. I always do. So I do a new flower every month, and I teach it in a private Facebook group. Okay, do a demonstration, but then the videos are all left in the group for anyone to watch, because there's a lot of people, or maybe different time zones, or can't make it, or whatever. So they can just watch them and catch up, but they're left in the group at the end of the year, so they can keep going back to them as often as they want. And then it's normally the second week of the month, but December's one I do the end of November, because obviously December is crazy for everyone.
Mad.
So and then this week I just put out, so the 2024 Flower Club now is booking now, and we'll start that then the second week of January. So I've been doing that. I've been doing my online sales, of course. My online business has been crazy busy. Doing like images, sugar flowers, where I make them like for customers for their cakes, because a lot of bakers or cake makers hate making flowers. So I kind of supply them.
It's a specific skill, isn't it? It's a specific art.
Well, it's the time as well, I think. And also every flower you do is a different tool and a different cutter and veiner, and it's an investment too. And then some people just hate making flowers, so so I've been kind of, all of that's returned to normal kind of after COVID and lockdowns and everything else. My shop closed. I had opened the shop 2 weeks before lockdown, and then, or 2 weeks before COVID, and then I got 4 lockdowns, one after the other. And then it'll be Christmas 2 years ago now, the town flooded Christmas Day.
Gosh.
So we spent Christmas Day and clearing out the shop, getting all the stock out of the shop. Yeah. That was my Christmas Day present.
Wow, how awful.
Then, no water got into the shop, because if it did, I had to bin everything anyway. So we cleared out the shop. And then my landlady passed away, and then my dad got ill, and I kind of decided, okay, the writing's on the wall here. So I went back to working from home and just purely online. So I don't have any callers. Everything that I do now is online. You just got to decide and kind of go with it, you know. So that kind of happened, and then everything online and the thing. And this year now I'm 20 years in business, so we're still there. We've survived everything really at this stage. So, you know, it's still there. But I've also pared back quite a bit because, you know, as I say, I used to do markets and shows and everything. Yeah. And now I'm just like, I need to kind of just do what I love to do. You know, when Dad got sick, it was kind of a big eye opener as well, because you just work and he worked his whole entire life and now he can't do anything, you know. So you kind of have to
do what you love.
You've got to do what you love, I think, and that's why the flowers for me, and baking, but the flowers for me are what I absolutely love. So I like teaching them, and then I do online courses with lots of the sugar flowers to support each other as well, I think. So I just kind of said, just pare back, just do what I love and enjoy it.
You got through the plague, you got through the floods.
Yeah, recessions.
It's very biblical, isn't it?
It is biblical, really. And I wouldn't be terrible holy now or anything. But it's kind of, so I kind of got through it all, and I thought, okay, writing's on the wall, let's just completely pare it back and just do those bits. So that's what I'm kind of doing now.
Right.
Yeah, and then
will you enter Cake International and Bake International next year, do you think?
Yeah, I'm already planning. Actually, I have two of them. I have two of them in my head already.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure the third. I know what I want to do, but I have to figure out how to make it. So yeah, absolutely. I'm already, so it's written in the diary, and we have, because we won't have a show in Ireland next year, I think.
Right.
So really our only shows are in the UK. So we actually have, in March, there's a team of 6 from Ireland. I've kind of picked 6 of us. We're going to Salon Culinaire in London. It used to be Hotel Olympia. So that would be our next one. So Christmas schedule just came out this week. So Christmas, I'll work on my flowers for that. And then we'll have Cake International in November. Yeah, fantastic. So I have 2 of them already.
That's amazing.
A little bit of an addiction.
So it's not that you've got to best in show and you're going, right, I'm done now, I'm quitting while I'm at the top. You're just ploughing on.
I just, like, for me, the competition end is just, it's about learning and about competing, get your feedback, see where you went wrong and see how you can improve. It's always how I've looked at them. And I know kind of, because I've been on all those mixed results as well, where you feel unfairly judged or you feel you didn't get the prize you want, you've got your disqualifications, you've got, like, I've been on every single...
you've been on a real journey.
But it's been an amazing journey too, because obviously I've met incredible people, like amazing people in the journey of it. I've got to travel the world with it, with competing. And I'm also a judge here in Ireland with the chefs, with the panel of chefs. So I'm the judge there for Sugarcraft. So it's been a complete, people kind of think, competitions, you get nothing out of them. You absolutely do. You get so much from them, like you really do. So yeah, I 100% I'd compete again. I mean, when I got disqualified and I went back, then when I won, I better go back.
Yeah. To prove that it wasn't a fluke.
Prove that the old dog still has a few tricks. But it's worth the torture, I have to say. It is worth it.
The torture. Oh, well, thank you so much for chatting to us, Miriam. I can see you're riding a wave right now, and long may it continue. And we hope you come back next year as high as you were this year.
I'll see you at the results table on the Saturday.
Just remind our listeners where they can find you, where they can see all your wonderful creations online and on your socials.
Yeah, so very simple. So my website is sweetcreations.ie. All my social media is the same, sweetcreations.ie. So on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any of those, it's all the same kind of handle, so it makes it nice and easy. My online flower club is in a private group on Facebook, so you can just book in on that off the website on the classes. And then I often do little lives or little demos on Facebook, in different groups and everything as well.
Okay.
some of the different kind of cake friends, Cakes by Cara, BSG, any of those. I often do kind of ones on there as well. But at sweetcreations.ie is where they'll find me usually.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us today. And huge congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I shall see you over there next Saturday, on the Saturday next year.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, girls. Right. Thanks a million. Take care.
Right, so we're doing this a couple of weeks after we spoke to Miriam.
We are face to face in the same room, which is just amazing. Really weird.
And
cheers! Wine! Is this going to be just a whole new way of podcasting? Should we do this more often?
Yeah.
Sitting there, drinking wine. Nice. Yeah. But Miriam was just adorable.
Yeah, I love speaking to Miriam.
Yeah.
She's so amazing.
I'm so pleased that she got that. Yeah. That Best in Show.
Oh, God, yeah.
So
and I was in the right place at the right moment when I could hear people going, wow, you won! And I was like, she went, oh, I know who you are.
And you're like, I know you. And her first gold as well. I can't believe that's the first ever gold she got.
Double gold.
That's just nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Her work is just stunning and she's never got a gold before. That just goes to show the standard of flowers at Cake International.
Yeah.
And that's why I will never enter a flower entry at Cake International.
Oh my God, no.
Can you remember when Siobhan entered flowers? So Siobhan, who used to work for us, who got silver this year at Cake International, she entered, was it?
It was the same.
Passion flowers.
Yes, yeah.
And I remember thinking how amazing they were, and I was blown away. And she got a merit, and I know she was really, really chuffed with the merit. And I know I spoke to her when we were at Cake International this year. We bumped into her, and it's the first time I've seen her for years. And she said, I was just so green when I went back there. She said, I didn't read the schedule. I didn't have no idea. She said, how I actually didn't get a
disqualification. Unscheduled, yeah.
So, but...
there you go.
No, good old Miriam. Well done. Well done, my love. Well done.
Woo!
Right, okay. You're going to make me cough. right. See, we're both so ill. That's why we need wine.
Okay. It's time for Product of the Week. It's Product of the Week. Okay, so I'm going to go first.
You're going first.
So I bought this product 2 weeks ago.
Right, okay. I remember you telling me about it.
Yeah, so I bought it just before we had Miriam on, and when I bought it, it was in discount.
Yeah,
so it was a bargain.
Yeah.
Okay, so my product is Colour Mill Next Generation Oil-Based Food Colouring Kick Starter Pack.
Because you've been running your colours down, haven't you?
And I actually got to the point the other day where I was like, I couldn't even mix colours.
Oh, really? You couldn't
I needed.
Oh.
I couldn't. I was trying on my colour chart. It was just, everything was just brown. And even my browns weren't the right sort of...
They weren't the right brown?
It was autumn brown.
Oh, never mind.
And, I gave in. Though I have done really well. You'd be so proud of how little colours I have now.
Because you at one point had the whole rainbow dust, the tubes, didn't you?
Yeah. I've forgotten what they're called. We're doing it.
We're so rubbish.
I can see... We spoke to him at Cake International. Fractal Colours.
Yes.
And the other one as well I had.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. I've been running it down.
Yeah.
I've been cutting tubes open.
Really?
Scraping the insides out. But yeah, I've even used dusts. But you think, oh, I never knew I had this, even though I've got them sorted into drawers of different colours.
They just, because you have so many. Yeah. That's the problem, there's so many.
Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I can feel it coming. So I'm going to keep talking and it might go away. So it's got yellow, orange, red, pink, baby pink, purple, black, brown, green, lime green, which is so nice. I've used it on quite a few things. Sky blue and royal blue. And they're really punchy.
They're really good colours,
they're really
aren't they?
Vibrant. And when I first bought them, I think they were 36 quid.
Wow.
And I was like...
So how many colours is that?
12.
Wow, okay.
So I was like made up.
Yeah.
And I was going to do it. It was my product of the week and say to everybody, hey... But I've just gone in to check and the price has gone back to normal. I'm ever so sorry, but I can highly recommend it. It's 12 colours for $49.99.
That's still pretty good though, because they are...
Cake. That's at the Cake Craft Company.
But you've got all your primaries there, haven't you? So you can make all the colours you need, yeah.
Yeah. So my only problem is I used black yesterday and what have I got?
You got black fingernails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have
But you're a
washed.
cake maker.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
But I really like the black as well because when you mix it with modelling paste, etc., it's really black.
Oh, is it? It's not just a bit near grey?
No. I did tyres with it yesterday.
Wow.
That entire... I did a black car.
Yeah.
That was white.
Wow.
And I modelled it. I just used that.
That's really good.
Yeah. And a little goes a long way.
Right, well, you're going to laugh because my product of the week... one colour meal colour.
Is it black?
No, it's not. It's not black. Right, so I made a cake this week.
One colour.
One very specific colour.
Yeah.
Right, very, very specific colour. So I made a cake this week and I sent pictures of various cakes that I had made to this lady, and she wanted a drip cake with a white chocolate drip with a colour on, so coloured white chocolate drip.
Yeah.
And she came back, she went, yeah, that one that you've made there with the lavender lilac drip. I'm like, okay, perfect. So it was my cake, I knew I'd made it. When I came to making it this week, when you put purple or lilac or lavender,
and it goes
like near grey, right?
Yeah.
So I had bought at Cake International, I had bought Colour Mill Violet.
Uh-huh.
And I used that, it was the new one, and I used that in this drip and it went grey.
Did it?
And I thought, what did I use then? So then I put a bit of white in it. Thought, maybe I haven't put white. No, could not get a pink, could not get a purple. So I then went back to think, well, what did I use when I made that original cake?
Yeah.
And in my box, I had Colour Mill Purple.
Ah, well, that's what's in
That's
the
what's
set.
in, yeah. So the Colour Mill Purple goes purple. And I think, because when you begin to mix something, like sometimes when you mix black, you get a bit of blue coming out and then it turns black.
Or sometimes you get red as well, I've had. Or...
So the Colour Mill Purple has got a red base to it.
Has it?
So it goes red before it goes purple.
Ah.
So it's a top tip and a product of the week. If you want buttercream or white chocolate that's actually purple and not a sludgy grey, Colour Mill Purple, not lilac, not violet, which is what I tried first, the actual purple colour. And it's brilliant. It's because I've always struggled to get purple.
Oh, it's such a hard colour to get.
Yeah, always. And I thought, maybe I used
colour.
a dust and I haven't got any purple dust.
Yeah.
Maybe I used a different, and I had no other purples, and it is that Colour Mill Purple, and it's brilliant.
Oh, wow, there we go.
Yeah.
Two of the same.
Two of the same.
But totally different.
Well, two of the same, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, okay, we're done.
We're done, and we're going to go and...
Ching, ching. The reason we're together is because we are at the Cake and Bake Show. So if you listened to that episode last week, because that's when it's going out the week before this one.
It's the week before the last one on the front forwards and the backwards.
But that's why we're together, because we've been at the Cake and Bake Show and it's been wonderful. But that's on last week's episode. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay then, bye.